Alright, hey guys, happy whatever day you're looking at this. On Friday, our last lesson, you guys dug into inequalities a little bit and looked into what it means to actually be a solution to an inequality, and today we're going to solve them. So there's one key thing you need to know before you're solving them, and that is whenever you multiply or divide both sides of the inequality by a negative, you must flip the sign. So again, if you ever divide or multiply both sides by a negative, you have to flip the sign. So if it's a less than sign, you'll flip it to a greater than sign. And that will make more sense here when we do an example. Now, the cool thing with solving inequalities is that they are exactly like solving equations. So we're going to do the exact same thing. The only difference is the inequality sign instead of the equal sign. And let me show you with this first example here. This should be a pretty easy one. So we have x plus 5 is less than or equal to 7. Just like we did, I'm going to draw a line down my sign. Right now I have a 5 with my x and it's being added, so I'm going to subtract 5. And I get x is less than or equal to 7 minus 5 is 2. So that is my final answer. And then I ask us to graph that. So a reminder that when we are graphing and we have the or equal to, you can see the reminder over to the right. The or equal to means that number is included, so we're going to make a closed circle at 2. When your number lines don't have a number, you're just going to write it in with the number you're at. And then we just said that it was closed. Oh my goodness. Let's try that again. So we're going to make a closed circle. And then now we need to figure out which way my arrow should point. This says x is less than or equal to 2. So that means my arrow is going to point where all of the smaller numbers are. So this way. Let's see, now we're getting a little bit harder. We got negative 3x minus 7 is greater than or equal to 14. Draw the line. All right. Again, we're going to solve this just like if it was with an equal sign. So I have myself x here. My BFF is the negative 3, and then the negative 7 is my acquaintance. Or, again, remember, we always get rid of subtraction and addition first before multiplication. So I get rid of a minus 7 by adding 7. And then that leaves negative 3x is greater than or equal to 21. Now I have negative 3 times x. So I get rid of a negative 3 times by dividing. 3's cancel, and I'm left with x. And then 21 divided by negative 3 is going to be negative 7. Now here's where that rule comes in. I divided by a negative on both sides. So I need to flip my sign. Ooh. So now it's going to be, instead of a greater than or equal to, a less than or equal to sign. So that means my final answer is x is less than or equal to negative 7. Again, it's the or equal to, so that means it's going to be a closed-in circle because it includes a negative 7. So I'm just going to start at negative 7. Going to fill it in. X is less than. So that means x is all of the numbers smaller than that, which are to the left. Again, if you need to pause me to keep going, go ahead and pause me. Make sure you have it. I'm going to do these last two here, and then we have some practice for you. All right, so I'm going to just rewrite this. All right, so we have 6 is greater than 3, and then in parentheses 3x minus 4. Draw my line down. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I have a number outside of my parentheses. Let's distribute. 3 times 3x is going to be 9x. 3 times 4 is going to be 12. Now we can solve. Again, we get rid of subtraction or addition first before multiplication. So I'm going to get rid of my minus 12 by adding it to both sides. Those cancel, and I get 18 is greater than 9x. I have 9 times x, so I get rid of that by dividing. 18 divided by 2, and then that is greater than x. Again, here we divided by a positive number, so we don't need to flip my sign. That is my final answer. You could rewrite it and put your x on the other side. Just make sure the smaller part of your sign is on that. This is that 2 is greater than x, which is the same thing as x is less than 2. Notice how the smaller part of my sign is on the x both times. Either way you write that is fine. Okay, now let's look at 4. We have 5 minus 3x is less than 13 plus x. Draw my line down. Okay, this is what we learned, a week and a half ago. What I want you to notice is that there are x's on both sides of my equal sign. So we need to get them to one side. So I feel like subtracting my x over. So I'm going to minus x, I'm going to minus x. Again, remember when we get our x's to one side, it doesn't matter which one you move. Either way, if you do the math right, you'll get the same answer. So if you wanted to add 3x to both sides, you could also do that. Okay, so these cancel. And now I have 5 minus 3 minus 1 is going to be a minus 4. Okay. Then we get rid of the thing being added or subtracted. Over here, now I've seen a lot of us get confused here because we've seen, a minus, so then we do the opposite and add 5. However, the minus is on the 4x. If we rewrote this as keep, change, be plus a negative 4x. So that subtraction sign means the negative is on the 4. When we're looking at the sign on these numbers, you want to look in front of it. So the 5 has no negative sign here, so that is positive. So we'll subtract 5 from both sides. And I'm left with negative 4x. And then 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Those canceled. And then now I have negative 4 times x, so I can divide both sides by negative 4 now. And then we get x. And then 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. Again, golden rule here, I divided by a negative on both sides. So we need to flip our sign. This does not look like flip. I'm going to rewrite it because I just can't deal with that, guys. I'm sorry, that was bad. That's better. Okay, so flip the sign. So instead of being a less than, it's going to be greater than. And again, we did that because we divided both sides by negative 4. So my final answer is x is greater than negative 2. All right. So cool. Same way to solve equations. The only difference is we have the sign. The only difference is we need to remember that golden rule of if we divide or multiply both sides by the negative, then you flip your sign. Doesn't matter with addition or subtraction. It only matters if we multiply or divide. All right. If you scroll on down, there are 4 problems here. We have A, B, C, and D. And I want you to give those a try. The first 2 you have to graph as well. The bottom 2 you don't. The other thing is this one right here. A is a lot like 2 above. 5. We didn't do one like this above. Just remember to combine like terms. This one is a little bit like 3. Except after you distribute, you'll also have to combine like terms. And then this one is just like 4 up above. Okay. Give these a try and then come back to check your answers. If you get stuck on one, come back and play me until you get unstuck and then pause me again to try and finish on your own. It's really important that you don't rely on my video to try these problems out. So come back when you're ready. All right. Looking at this first one here, I just rewrote it. then we have negative 3 plus 7x. So again, from your variable, you move the addition or subtraction first, which would be this negative 3. I added 3 to both sides. That gave me negative 14 is greater than or equal to 7x. From here I have 7 times x, so I can divide both sides by 7, and I get negative 2 is greater than or equal to x. Again, you can write it either way, so just make sure that the greater than or equal to sign is on the x, the bigger side of your sign is on your x, and you are fine. So we write our number at negative 2 on our number line. The or equal to tells me it's filled in, and then this says x is bigger than negative 2. Oh, what am I doing? Y'all, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Let me erase that, and I'll show you what I did. I moved my sign. Right here you can see the negative 2 is clearly on the bigger side, and I wrote it wrong over here. My bad. That was a mistake on my part. So your answer is negative 2 is greater than or equal to x, or x is less than or equal to negative 2. So your sign has the smaller part on the x. That means I drew my line wrong. All right. Cool. X is less than negative 2. All of the lesser numbers are to the left. All right. The next one, for b, we had to combine like terms. 3 minus 5 is negative 2x plus 2 is greater than 10. We start by subtracting 2 from both sides. We get negative 2x is greater than 8. And then we have negative 2 times x, so we divide both sides by negative 2. And then again, here we divided by a negative 2 on both sides, so we flip our sign, and we get x is less than negative 4. So we write our number at negative 4. Less than means it's an open circle, and x is less than. All of those smaller numbers are to the left. All right, great. All right, and then on C, we had to distribute that 3 to get 6x, and then 3 times 1 is 3, and then the minus 4x is less than 19. From here, we combine those like terms, so 6x minus 4x gives me 2x plus 3 is less than 19. Then we subtract 3 from both sides. 2x is less than 16, divided by 2 to get x is less than 8. This last one was a little bit tricky. So first we had to combine like terms on the left side. So x minus 3x would be a negative 2x. So then we have negative 2x is less than or equal to 5x plus 35. Give those x's to one side so we can subtract 5x over, and we get negative 7x is less than or equal to 35. And then divide both sides by that negative 7. And then because of that, we have to remember to flip our sign. So it went from being a less than sign to a greater than or equal to sign. All right. Nice work. Go ahead and start your independent practice. Come back to this top part if you need help. And let me know if you have any questions. Nice work, and I'll see you soon.